So I just want to do a quick video on how to pump up your tire. I know a lot of people have big bikes, or maybe you're just not confident or nobody showed you how to pump up your tire. So we're just going to do a quick little demo on how to pump up your tire. So I'm using a Park Tool PFP number 8. It's got a nice little gauge so you can get your tire pressure right. It's got an all metal body, and it's got a super long action. It's got a nice curved handle for your body. And then this pump's really cool because it's got a 2-port valve. So this takes both types of inner tube valves, the Schrader and the Presta valves. So I've got a road bike here, so it's going to use the Presta valves, but if you've got a mountain bike, you might have the automotive style valve, and basically they're going to work just the same. So let's pump it up. So on my road bike here, I have a Presta valve. It's got a dust cap that we're going to remove, and you can leave the lock nut on there, but on the Presta valve, they have a little nut at the top of the valve. You're going to want to unscrew that. Now we're going to grab our valve. And this part can be a little tricky for some because it does take a little bit of hand coordination. But what we're going to do is leave the lever in the down position. This is the open position. And then on this pump, we've got Schrader valves on top, which is your automotive style, or we have the Presta valve style, which is the really thin ones on the road bike or really skinny tires. So for mine, we're going to use the bottom one. So I'm going to insert it and push it all the way down. And if you've got some air in your tire, it may let out. That's okay. You're going to pump up your tire anyway. So now it can be really tempting to hold onto the hose while you pull on this lever. But what that's going to do is weaken at this joint, and you don't want to do that. So the best you can, use only the grip here and your other hand to pull the lever up. So on this one, you can use your opposite hand and pull it up. Now pump your tire. Once you've got about 20 psi in your tire, you'll want to go around your tire and make sure that the tire is properly seated onto the rim. So on this tire here, you'll notice some lettering, but you'll know if it's seated properly if you can read the lettering on the side of the tire. Now the entire tire is not going to have this lettering, but you want to make sure that you have the same spacing all the way around. If you can't see the lettering and it's partly covered up by the rim, when you inflate the tire, you may have problems while riding. Basically, you're going to have a weaker tire because it's not going to be properly seated on the rim. Now it's common on the large mountain bike or the fat tires for the tire to actually come off of the rim, and the inner tube will actually start to protrude through the gap here. And that's where you want to stop and release the pressure, because the more pressure you have inside the tube, the more likely the tube is going to pop while it comes out here. So release the tire pressure as much as you can. Hopefully you didn't pop the inner tube, and then put the inner tube back inside the tire and start again. This time put it to less pressure and then check again to make sure your gap is all even. Once it's all even, make sure you're getting your tires to the right recommended pressure. I ride at about 100 psi. So now I've got my tire pressure to 100 psi. And now we need to remove the valve from the tire. And this part can be a little tricky because you're going to lose a little bit of air when you remove the nozzle. So if you're having difficulty, you might want to pump your tire to a slightly higher pressure, knowing that you are going to lose a little bit of air. So let's remove our valve. So to remove it, we're going to close the valve and quickly remove the handle as quick as possible. On the Presta valves, you're going to want to tighten your nut on the valve and then put your dust cap back on. This way it's just like you left it. And now you pumped up your tire. And this is both the same for the front and the rear tire. Hopefully you found that helpful. If you have problems, give us a call and we'll definitely help you out. There's also, can be a little bit tricky if you've got a tire liner, maybe you've had some punctures and you've got a special liner in there. Sometimes it can be tricky when you have the really fat tires. It just takes practice. Practice at home and you'll have much more confidence out on the road. Be safe and have fun.